Welcome to Fedena support. Today in this webinar, we are just going to discuss about all those new features that we have incorporated in Fedena 3.2 to enable the user experience for all of our users. So we'll start up with all those new features that we have incorporated from the blog that we have here. So you can go to a blog where we give updates about all the new versions, and again the information regarding the same will also be available on newsletters that will be sent to you via the email IDs that you have been registered with us. So to start off with, we have a number of features up here like the dependencies, mark attendance, student admission number, and so on. So we'll discuss each of these items one by one. So let's start up with the dependencies are shown while deleting a student. So this feature has been a recent need of all the clients where they won't be able to delete a student once they have attached a dependency. The problem lies in the fact that we need to know what are the dependencies are in order to get rid of them. So let's say you want to delete a student with the name Abhishek, and when I click upon the student Abhishek, I'll be able to get the list of all the students with a similar name. And then I need to go to that particular student which I need to delete and then click upon the delete button. So that has been the normal procedure of deleting a student from that record. But you would not be able to delete it until unless you are not sure about what all the dependencies are there for the student. So right now we have the feature of specifying the reasons or the points in which the dependencies are attached. So this student won't be able to be deleted because it has the finance records, it has undergone batch transfer, it has undergone the attendance which are already marked, and so on. So in that case you won't be able to delete it. So you need to get rid of all the dependencies one by one, and after doing that you'll be able to delete the student. And then comes the attendance report. So the attendance of student has been a recent problem with all the users where we need to specify the reason of the absence of a student. So let's say if we go to the attendance part from here by clicking upon attendance, and then if you would like to go to the register, we need to select a batch from here, say UKGP, and we'll be able to get the list of all the people or all the relevant class timings that they have here. So we need to go to that particular batch, and then whenever you'll be going to delete a student, you need to select it from here. So previously we were asked to enter upon the reason for marking someone as absent. Right now we can switch upon to the rapid attendance mode, which enables the user or asks the user to simply mark the attendance one by one without specifying the reason. At the same time, we also have the feature of marking the students as absent with the reason. So to do so, you need to disable this part from here, and then when you click upon the time when you want to mark someone as absent, you can go to that part and continue to the same. So the new mode that we have incorporated here is the rapid attendance mode, where you will be able to mark the students as absent without specifying the reason for their absence. Then comes the new feature of admission number in the attendance register and the exams entry page. So this has always been a usual scenario that the students with the same name coming up in a single batch. So in that case it was quite cumbersome to decide which student are we going to enter the correct data for. So for this case, to deal with such a scenario, we have incorporated the admission number of students. So admission number of the students actually helps you to recognize the students by using the unique admission ID that will be provided with each student. So we can enter upon the admission ID from here, and in doing so you will be able to mark, or you'll be able to know the correct person that you are entering data for. So that is all about how this admission number comes into play in the exam register. Similarly, in the attendance register, similarly we also do have the facility of marking the exams for the students or while entering the exam results for the students. So again we need to go to the exam management or the examination part from here, and then when we go to the exam management and select the batch for which the examination has been declared for, So if we have a particular examination in any one of the courses, say UKG, and we would like to enter the marks for any one of these batches, so we need to select the exam from here, and then comes the admission number under each subject, where you will be able to mark the marks of the students. So let us say if there are two persons with the same name, here you will be able to differentiate them by seeing the admission number of the students. So as you can see in this example, we have two persons with the same name, Sandeep and Sandeep. The only difference is the admission number, so we can enter the correct marks using this feature. Then the next thing that we have here is the class timing interval of 1 minute duration. So previously there was a feature where the class timings were set to 5-minute duration. Now we have a 1 minute duration for the same. So let me explain you more about this feature. So let's go to this academics tab and click upon the timetable option. On clicking timetable, you can go to this classroom allocation. You can go to this set class timings, and while creating a new class timing set, you will be able to enter the class timings for the same. So here previously it was a class timing set where the intervals were of 5-minute duration. Right now we have this start time and end time as a single minute. So you can be more precise on selecting your start time and end time for your new class timings that you'll be creating here. So this completes the next big feature. So now let's go to the most important feature that the clients have been looking forward, is the classroom allocation. The classroom allocation is actually the most important feature that we have incorporated along with some other features, which actually helps you to allocate classrooms for your timetable. So let's have a look upon how this classroom allocation has really changed up. So we can go to the timetable homepage, and then we can come across to the view timetable first of all. So first of all, we need to view the right timetable that we have here. So right now I do have a timetable under the range 13th November 2014 to 20 November 2014. So I can come across here to my timetable. Here, and then I can select my batch. Say this is the batch I have been selecting, for which I have a timetable. So right now we do have a timetable where we have all the classes created, or with all the set class timings and so on. The next thing is to add some class timetables for this batch. So to add some class timetables or some classrooms to this particular batch, all we need to do is go to the timetable home page and click upon classroom allocation. So on clicking classroom allocation, you will be seeing two links which says manage buildings and allocate. On clicking manage buildings, you can create as many buildings as you need. Like say on clicking add building from your right button from the buildings option, you can create something like block A, let's say, and then the room number, say 301, with a capacity of let's say 100. And then we can click upon add field again and keep on adding some new rooms in this fashion. So here you will be able to create some buildings like this, but anyways, if you like to create some more buildings, you can also click upon the or some more rooms in the same building. You can click upon the building name, and then on clicking the building name, you will be able to see the room name and the rest of the stuff. Let's say you would like to go to this room name and see what all we have here. So on clicking room name, you will be able to select the timetable and the other activities up here. So the next thing that we need to do from here is allocate the classrooms that we have created. So to allocate classrooms that we have created, you can click upon allocate from here, and then there comes an option, what would be your allocation type. So would you like to have the weekly allocation type, or would you like to go date specific wise? So if I'm selecting upon weekly, I'll be asked to select a timetable range. So let's say the timetable range was from 13th November 2014 to 20th November 2014. So I can click upon 13th November 2014 from here, the range that in which we have a timetable, and then on clicking view you'll be able to see the required timetable along with the corresponding dates. So let's say we click upon Tuesday. So here we have a batch, or we have a teacher teaching maths for this batch. So what we need to do from here is like we can click upon the building name, say block A. Here we have two buildings, and drag it here and drop it. Do you want to allocate? Yes, we need to do so. So on clicking continue, that particular room will be allotted to teach, or will be reserved for teaching maths by Mr. Fernandez on the set date of the particular timetable. So we can also do so, also use this date specific by clicking upon that particular date of the month and then allocating that particular classroom there. So that is all about how this classroom allocation has been organized for all the users to allocate a classroom for teaching subjects in a particular batch. So now let's hop upon to the next big thing in the Fedena 3.2, that's the online examination and the attachment of applicant registration in student's profile. So earlier we had the problem of getting the same documents into the profile. So let's say you come across a scenario where you have an online examination, and in this online examination you need to click upon that particular date, and you, or let's say you have an way where you'll be able to register all the students online. So there we also do have an option where you will be able to click upon the option of transferring the documents, and in doing so the students, once allocated to the new batch that they are in, they will be able to see the profiles, or they'll be able to see the documents in it. So let's have a small demo upon how this can be done from here. So let's click upon the register link, and let's add a dummy student in our test instance. So let's say we have a student up here with the name of Frederick, and then we need to enter up the other details, say graphs and the other amounts, and again if you want to use a photo here you can also do so. And the other details are to be entered. Right now we will also be able to enter the details like say this. So here is the document. Say this document may contain the documents like the student details or the mark sheets of the student while he was in his earlier examination or earlier school, and then on clicking the button save and proceed, the detail will be attached to that of the student. So here we need to enter some couple of details more that we have left out. Let's say we enter Sue here, and then we need to select the attachment again. Now on clicking save and proceed, the student will be able to be registered under the examination or under the particular batch. So here we need to go to the applicant registration option again, or the applicant registration homepage again, and allocate the student from there. So once the student has been allotted a particular batch, he will be able to the student will be available for the search option. And let's say we have a student up here with the name of Anjana, who has actually applied for the course in a similar fashion, and then we can go to the profile of the particular student, and on clicking registration docs, that option will be available up here. So that's the way how this registration docs, once registered, will be available under the profile of the students in the new Fedena 3.2. So now let's talk about the last thing that we have in store for us for today's webinar. That's the online examination. In online examination, you'll be able to create some examinations, though it has come across a drastic comeback in the recent update, where you will be able to import some examinations, where you'll be able to create some examinations, or you'll be able to rearrange or randomize the examinations as per the requirement of the user. So let's start off with the examination module and go to this online examination to see what all changes we have done in this Fedena 3.2 version. So here let's create an online examination and see how the creation of examination has changed up. So now we can name the exam, say new online exam, or I would call it a surprise test. Surprise test, let's say 11 with the start date and end date as today. And then we can click upon the maximum time limit for this, let's say 5 minutes, and the percentage here, let's say 40%. And again, we have the option of selecting the exam type, that's general or subject specific. So if you're choosing a general examination, that examination would be available for all the required batches, but you won't be able to make it specific for a subject. So we can have even a subject specific examinations based upon the batch. So if a batch has 4 subjects like maths, physics, chemistry and biology, we can even choose which subject would an online examination can be conducted for, and then we need to set the batch for which we are going to conduct an examination, and then even the students to whom this examination will be applicable. And again, if you would like to uncheck some of the students, he or she won't be able to apply for this examination. And then comes the exam format. Previously we had only the objective kind of examinations. Now we also do have an option where we'll be able to include subjective examinations too. So in case if it is subjective assignment or subjective assessment, we need also the evaluators who will be evaluating the examination, right? So to do so, we can even assign some evaluators. Let's say we will be assigning Ms. Surya Kumari and then Sir Anthony for this task. So right now we have 2 persons who are selected as evaluators for examinations under this particular batch 2014A. So now on clicking the button create, you will be able to see the examinations and the students will be able to appear for it. But before appearing, we need a couple of questions that will be entering up for this examination here. So on clicking the question, you will be able to create a new question for all of your students. So let's say we create a new examination. Say NGO stands for, or the new question NGO stands for, and the mark as 1, and enter up the relevant options. Let's say the first option would be the answer. We also do have facility of changing or we also have the facility of recorrecting any other options available. So we can click upon option 2. So let's say non-gullible officer. So then we can click upon create to create that particular subject that we created. So right now we do not have an answer for any one of them. So we need to click upon this, and on clicking create, you will be able to create a new question for that particular online examination that we have been trying to create. Then comes the next question where we can add some more question. Let's say we would be creating it as a subjective or a descriptive question. Explain, or let's say write a brief about Mahatma Gandhi. That can be one of the questions up here. And again, the evaluators would be the one who will be assigning the marks and who will be able to give some pointers or check whether the hybrid examination or the descriptive examination has been done correctly or not. Then on clicking the button create, you will be able to create your examination with that special, or you'll be able to create a question with that special question or with the special option that you have entered up here. And the next question, let's call the next question as sun rises in. We can have two options, or we can also have some more options based upon the availability or based upon our interest. So the marks for this particular would be 1 mark again, let's say, and then we can mark it as is answer. Yes, east would be the answer. So we'll be going forward and hit upon the create button. So right now we have 3 questions, 4 marks for a subjective and 1 mark each for 2 objectives that we have created. So on clicking the button skip, your examination is now ready. So this would be the way how you will be able to create some new online examinations. And the next thing would be, like, if you would like to add some new questions, or if you would like to import some questions from the previous database that you have up here, that could also be possible. So to do so, you can click upon import questions and then select upon the available repositories up here. So we have some repositories, let's say this one, and we would like to add this question to into our examination. So we can click upon import from here, obviously after giving the mark, and then on clicking finish, our examination will be having that particular question also. Then we can also rearrange that particular examination. So the one that we need to enter from here is this. So we need to click upon one here, and on clicking import, that particular examination will be imported. You can even click upon finish to see the number of questions that has come across. So you can even rearrange the questions based upon the order, and you can even hit upon this randomize option so that you will be able to send a different order of questions for each student. So it would be again quite easy for the students to guess the answers if the answer is not randomized. So you can even choose the randomized option so that whenever a student appears, the next student will be having a randomized option, which will enable the students to get a new order every time they appear for it. So that's the way how you'll be able to create your online exam. So now you can even view the online exams by clicking upon view online exam and selecting the batch from here. So right now the next thing that we need to do from here is the publish button. On clicking publish, you will be able to publish the exam. The next task would be to assign a student who will be able to appear for that particular examination. So we have some students up here who can appear for this examination. Let's say we have a student up here, let's say 42, who can appear for this examination. So we need to go and log in as a student. And as soon as the student logs into the application, he can see these academics up here, and on clicking online examination, the system will redirect her to the examination that she's supposed to enter for. Then on clicking go, the examination will start up in a new tab, of course. Here you'll be able to get all the list of all the questions that we have saved for this particular student, and there starts the timer of the student. So the student goes to this examination page, enters the examination like this, and then enters this, appears for the subjective examination, something like this. And finally finishes it. So doing this, the student will be able to appear for the examination, and then on clicking finish, the results can be viewed by the student instantly. So that's the way how the student can appear for the examination. And then comes the evaluator, who is going to check for the examination. So let's sign in as one of the evaluators up here. So E6 is one of the teachers who is actually the evaluator of the examination. We can now go to evaluate online exams from this and click upon surprise test 1, evaluate by selecting the batch for which the examination has been scheduled for, and then this is the student who has appeared for the examination. So we can evaluate this. So the student comes up, and this examination, the teacher reads the answer, and then he or she marks the required mark for her. So we can give a 1 mark since the student has written a lesser brief. And then on hit the button save, he or she will be able to save this online examination, or this evaluation can be successfully created. So this is the way how the whole procedure of online examination has come across a drastic change. So we hope that this webinar would be self-sufficient for you to go through all these features that we have incorporated in the recent update of Fedena, that's the Fedena 3.2. So we would also be looking for YouTube viewers. We will thank them for their patience, and please have a happy time with Fedena. You can also send us a ticket at support@fedena.com in case of more details. Thank you. Have a very good day.